So I am Professor Vaqueline. I now teach in the Department of Women's Studies, but I have a different type of educational legacy, if you want to say. I used to teach in Bojali College in the Department of Geography. So my parent discipline is geography, and subsequently I specialized in the field of gender geography through my research and publication. And in 2011, I joined the Department of Women's Studies, Guwahati University, and since then I've been teaching here. Again, it has a different type of story behind that. Like, even though I was teaching or studying geography, I did my master's in geography from Guwahati University. But while immediately after my master's, I got into a job in Young Women Christian Association, where I got the exposure to different issues related to women, and that too from a national scenario. And when I was doing my work there in YWCA, Delhi, I got to know about different issues related to women. And since then, I wanted to do my PhD in women-related issues. Now, unlike the other academic discipline, the Department of Women's Studies is a multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary department. That means anybody from any discipline can teach here. But for that, they need to have specialization in gender studies. For example, as I have told you, that I did my PhD in gender geography, and that's how I became a part of women's studies. Then I have a number of publications in women's studies, and that's how I qualified to become a part of this department. So it is not that only people from women's studies can be a part of. Now, after the Department of Women's Studies have come up, we are getting students and who have pursued further and got their net in women's studies and have done PhD in women's studies, and that's how they are in this department. But it is open to any people who have done research work or have taught anything related to gender studies and women's studies. So to qualify to become a part of women's studies as an academician, you need to have net as like any other academic discipline. But if you have net in women's studies, then you have a special preference. And if you have publication in women's studies, then that adds more to your chances of getting so. And if you have any projects related to gender or women's studies, then the chances of getting selected or becoming a part of women's studies becomes far more stronger. It is quite challenging in the sense because many people are not aware about women's studies as an academic discipline. So we used to get very weird type of question. We faced very weird type of question, and such as like, is it only women who studies women's studies? But it is not so. Women's studies is a very unique discipline. And it's not women, it is not something that we study about women. So that is a challenge, but we are trying to overcome the challenge. We have trying to bring up the different women's, different departments or different departments of the government which working on women related issue. We invite them, they are part of our some decision making body. So they know about us and they know about the work that we do, but still it is not taking a very strong hold like the mainstream discipline in the form of career option or as a qualifying criteria to get into different jobs. So this is, I think, is one of the biggest challenge. And also another challenge I would like to say that people are also not aware. They're not aware, they have little understanding about the subject, that these are the different challenges that we face from time to time. And when you talk in the context of reward, I feel I'm abundantly rewarded after coming to this department. The students that we get and we nurture them and make them something in the society who is bringing in changes in the society, that is another type of rewards for us. Actually, if I say my journey, I loved my journey because when I came to this department from geography, actually one of the main intention also was to come from Patsala to Guwahati. But that doesn't mean that That doesn't mean that I was not interested in the subject. So there were two things which was going on together. So two things happening at the same time was some sort of achievement, I would rather say. But now I feel that if I would have been in Patsala and would have taught the same subject, I think I wouldn't have got so much of exposure. So uh, once I reached women's studies, I don't know, things changed immensely in my life. Um, uh, it was initially very difficult because I was from geography, and when I took up women's studies as an academic discipline, I knew only gender geography. So every time I was learning, so I had to prepare syllabus, and it is a small department. So when we joined, there were only two faculties, permanent faculties. One was Dr. Poonam Kakoti Bora, and the other was myself. And we had the director, Professor Archana Sharma. She was like a guiding. She was providing us all guidances, but the lots of learning that went through, like in the whole journey, every time I get to learn new thing, which is sometimes very challenging, and it is very difficult subject in a sense, because one need to have critical thinking to be a part of women's studies. Okay, if you ask me what advice I want to give to the young ones if they want to take up women's studies as an option, many students which I found is that they are looking for something new, and this trend is growing. So we welcome them with and we teach them, and also like if I say like what advice I would like to say them is that this subject is very, very important. And sometimes we get students that they prefer maybe a mainstream subject than women's studies because of career option. And it is very important to have gender sensitive people, and we also want more male students to come, because this is a very wrong perception that women's studies is studied only by women. But we are very happy that in the last semester we have around 5 male, and one of the topper happens to be a male student. And also in our first batch we had a male student, and he happened to be a topper. And we have research scholar who are male. It's not a women centric subject. We teach women's studies through gender lens. So I basically want more men to come up, because women get sensitized through different platforms, but we want more men, because only when men and women are equally sensitized, we can think of a better world to live in. When we talk about the emerging trend, I see that in due course of time, the need and for more students who are trained in this field are sought after. Like previously we used to send our students to different organizations as interns. Now those organizations, for example Piramal, they have approached us. They want our students to be a part of this research projects. So with more and more gender issues being highlighted, there is a huge potentiality of students who are oriented and trained as gender experts or women's studies experts will be sought after in policy making bodies, in different organizations, in research work, in advocacy, in outreach programs, and also as trainers, and also in textbooks framing. This is another area where our students are involved. If we look into the resources, I think the two libraries of women's studies, each the richest of all the libraries of the entire region. We also have some archives which are there. And when we talk in the terms of program, we have been teaching women's studies in Masters in Women's Studies since 2012. So the first program is MA in Women's Studies. We have PhD programs. Every year we take there are 2 openings. Now this year they have introduced 2 openings. One in January and the other is in August. So we offer PhD programs. And last year we introduced undergraduate program. They can anytime approach us. We are based in Guwahati University in the new academic building. So as faculties and also we have guest faculties. If you approach us, we are always there to help you with information. And all the information of our department is there in Guwahati University's website, where our emails are there. You can also reach us through the emails which are there in Guwahati University website.